I only prepared enough food for our family.
What does that even mean? Marissa's words left me and Kenny in shock. We were invited to our grandchild's third birthday party. So why was there a dollar coin on our seats?
Why is there a dollar here?
When I asked, Marissa gave a mean smile.
Buy whatever you want with that.
In that moment, we understood everything. It was clear this was her way of mocking us. Her smug look said it all, but we stayed silent. We won't stay silent any longer. No more financial support. My husband and I were on the same page. My name is Linda. I'm a full-time housewife in my late 40s. My husband, Kenny, is the same age, and we got married in our 20s. Kenny works as a pilot, and he's a captain now. I used to work as a flight attendant for the same airline, but after we got married, I decided to leave my job and focus on being a housewife. At the time, I had wanted to continue being a flight attendant, but balancing work and home life was too hard for me. Even though it was tough, I've ended up living a happy life. We have one son, Tyler. He works as a lawyer and is quite popular, appearing in the media often. He's moved out and now lives on his own. We are so proud of him. One day, Tyler called and said,
"I'm getting married."
Apparently, he had proposed to his longtime girlfriend. What? That's amazing.
We should meet her sometime.
Kenny and I were so excited, we couldn't help but cheer. Tyler was laughing on the other end of the phone too. He told us he'd talked to his fiancée, and they were planning a family lunch for us to meet. We happily agreed, and the plan was set for the next weekend at a chic cafe Tyler had reserved.
I figured bringing her straight to the house might be too much for a first meeting.
Kenny said, and I agreed. What kind of person did Tyler choose, considering he can be so thoughtful? We were sure she was wonderful. We couldn't wait to meet the woman. When the day arrived, we went to the cafe, and Tyler was already there with her. She smiled at us as we walked in. Nice to meet you. I'm Tyler's mother.
And I'm his father. Nice to meet you.
We greeted her, and she gave a polite greeting, glancing shyly at Tyler. She seemed a little bit shy. Sensing that, Tyler introduced her to us.
This is Marissa. Her father's been working as a lawyer at my firm.
I'm Marissa. It's nice to meet you.
Though she was soft-spoken, she made sure to look us in the eyes. After the pleasant introductions, we all went inside the cafe. Marissa seemed quiet and reserved, but the atmosphere was comfortable. I think the meeting went smoothly overall. However, when Tyler and Kenny briefly left the table, Marissa asked me something unexpected.
What kind of work do you do, Laura?
I'm a full-time housewife. I quit my job when we got married. When I said that, she looked surprised.
What? So you've been living on just your husband's income?
That's right. I purposely didn't mention that I used to be a flight attendant. While that was a proud moment of my past, I wasn't about to brag about it.
Oh, that must be nice.
She said, with a smile. There was something off about that smile for just a moment, but then Kenny and Tyler returned, and the conversation moved on. By the way, Marissa, what kind of work do you do? As we were getting ready to leave, I asked Tyler privately.
She's working as her dad's secretary. She said she's still learning the ropes, though.
I see. If she's an apprentice legal secretary, she must be very smart and capable. Maybe to someone like her, a full-time housewife like me didn't seem very impressive. That's how the meeting ended, leaving me with a bit of a strange feeling.
Could you help us out with our living expenses?
Marissa said this to us about a week after the wedding and their honeymoon. She suddenly showed up at our house, and as soon as she sat down, that's what she asked. Tyler wasn't with her, and Kenny and I were completely caught off guard. Help with living expenses, what do you mean? When I asked, Marissa's face turned serious.
Tyler's salary alone isn't enough to live comfortably. I only make pocket money since I'm still an apprentice.
Tyler's earning a pretty decent salary, though. What's so hard about it?
Kenny had a point. Tyler might still be young, but he passed the bar exams while he was in college and became a lawyer in record time. He's been doing great and is already a trusted attorney. But apparently, even with his income, it wasn't enough for Marissa.
Maybe we're okay now, but once we have kids, we'll be in trouble. That's why I'm asking for help now, to start saving for the future.
Marissa said this with determination. I could understand her anxiety about the future. But isn't it something they could worry about once they actually had kids? I don't mind helping, but you could also start saving within Tyler's current salary before kids come along.
Exactly. There's no rush until after the kids are here.
When Kenny and I said that, Marissa seemed a bit thrown off for a second. But just for a second.
Well, I'm still anxious. With my own future uncertain, having an unstable marriage scares me.
She looked down with watery eyes, trembling. Could she be crying? Was she silently worried about the future, even to Tyler? With that thought, neither Kenny or I could ask her anything further. And so, we reluctantly agreed to help Marissa out.
If Tyler gets a raise and Marissa becomes a competent secretary, things should stabilize.
I agreed with Kenny's words. Sure, Marissa might struggle at first, but she would figure it out in time. I convinced myself of that, but there was one thing Marissa said that bothered me.
I have a favor to ask. Could you keep this a secret from Tyler? I'll talk to him about it someday.
Kenny and I agreed to that request, but I couldn't shake the feeling that we were deceiving Tyler. A year after we started helping Marissa, Tyler and Marissa welcomed their first child. We were thrilled to finally meet our long-awaited grandchild. But then, a problem arose. While Marissa called her parents to the hospital, she said she didn't want us to come.
Sorry, she's not feeling well and needs some space. I promise I'll let her see you after she's discharged.
Tyler, who called us, sounded genuinely apologetic as he said that. We understood and decided it was fine, looking forward to meeting our grandchild. In the end, we got to see our grandchild a month after the discharge. Tyler and Marissa came over to our house for a visit.
I can finally introduce you.
Tyler said with a smile, showing us the baby's face. The baby, a boy who looked just like Tyler, brought tears of joy to my eyes. He's so cute.
Absolutely.
Do you want to hold him for a bit?
As Kenny and I smiled, Tyler said that. But Marissa, standing next to him, glared at us with an annoyed look.
Don't you think it's time to head home? You said we had to leave soon since we're going to my parents' place.
I know, but can't we just enjoy a little longer?
Tyler replied, but Marissa quickly took the baby away from him.
Thanks for having us.
She said that with a straight face and walked out. It hadn't even been 10 minutes since they arrived. Tyler smiled sadly at us, looking a bit defeated.
Sorry, she's been pretty on edge lately.
Kenny and I exchanged glances. Realizing Marissa might be feeling overly sensitive after just having a baby. Though we had mixed feelings, we handed Tyler the gift for the newborn without complaining. By the way, while Tyler personally brought back the thank you gift, Marissa never contacted us again. From that point on, Marissa started avoiding contact with us. Tyler would come to visit with the baby, but for some reason, Marissa seemed reluctant, and their visits became less frequent. However, despite not wanting to meet, Marissa only reached out to me.
Please pick up some diapers, 'cause we're out.
She didn't even call. Instead, she texts a brief message. Reluctantly, I went shopping and rang the doorbell at their place, only to receive another message.
Please leave them at the front door.
Even though I was paying for the shopping, I didn't get a single word of thanks. I didn't expect gratitude, but at least I wanted to see the baby's face. How's the baby doing? I tried sending that, but there was no reply from Marissa. She completely ignored my messages and sent another request for shopping. It felt like I was being treated like a servant. Sure, I had told Tyler, let me know if you need anything, out of kindness to help them with their first time parenting. But with Marissa, it felt like she only saw me as a handy housekeeper. I continued to support Marissa. Every month, I deposited money into the account she specified for living expenses. Yet she never expressed gratitude, not even a simple email. Thinking it was pointless to contact Marissa, I reached out to Tyler once. I don't need to meet, but I'd like to see a picture of the baby. Soon after, I didn't hear from Tyler, but I received an email from Marissa.
Right now, parenting is overwhelming. I can't think about my in-laws.
I was shocked by her thoughtless response. I had been supporting Marissa out of concern for her future, yet here I was facing such cold treatment. With that kind of reaction, I could hardly find the motivation to help her anymore. Tyler did reply eventually, but his message showed he didn't know the situation at all.
I'm at work, so could you send that to Marissa?
If I told Tyler everything now, would we finally get to see the baby? I thought about it, but I didn't have the courage to follow through. As I felt frustrated and started to wonder if Marissa was really saving any money, I continued to send the monthly support. After that, Tyler would occasionally reach out and send baby pictures, but the days of not seeing the baby or Tyler continued. And then 3 years passed. I began to think I might never get to see the baby. Kenny and I had half given up, but one day I received a call from Tyler.
Marissa suggested we invite both sets of parents for a meal to celebrate our kid's birthday. Are you and Mom free?
We were surprised by Tyler's unexpected words. We never imagined Marissa would invite us. Kenny and I were genuinely happy. Of course, we'd love to join. It's been 3 years since I last saw the baby, so our grandson must be 3 years old now. It feels like he's grown up so fast, but I would be happy if we could celebrate together. What should I bring for the celebration?
Should I buy a popular toy? I need to check with Tyler too.
The two of us were excitedly planning for the day. Then came the day of the birthday party. My husband and I arrived at Tyler and Marissa's house as planned. With my heart racing, I pressed the doorbell.
It's open, so please come in.
I heard Marissa's voice, so I opened the front door. I had an idea of what to expect, but Marissa was not there to greet us. As we walked toward the living room, I saw Marissa leaning on the table, looking at her smartphone. "Thank you for having us." When I said that, Marissa slowly looked up and smiled brightly.
Thank you for coming. Your seats are over here.
However, at the designated seats, there were no dishes or glasses set up, let alone any food. While there were plenty of those items at the table for the grandson and Tyler, had they forgotten to prepare for us? Since Marissa showed no sign of moving, I took off my jacket and stood up. "Marissa, can I help you with the cooking?"
Huh, that's fine. It's already done. We just need to serve it.
Without even looking at me, Marissa waved her hand dismissively. At that moment, my husband and I finally noticed something odd. The house was unusually quiet. Tyler wasn't there, and I couldn't hear the grandson at all. We exchanged glances in surprise.
Marissa, where are Tyler and your son?
They're at the park right now. They might not be back for another 30 minutes.
I couldn't believe what Marissa was saying. She had to know we were coming today. After all, it was Tyler who called to invite us. Why aren't they home? It's already past the time we agreed on. I couldn't help but ask, and Marissa responded with a creepy smile.
I asked you to come earlier than planned. I wanted to have a proper talk with you.
A talk? I nervously asked, not understanding her true intentions.
Well, since it's you guys, I knew you wouldn't notice. I only prepared enough food for our family.
Marissa said that with a mocking tone. My husband and I couldn't hide our shock. What does that mean? Before I could ask again, my husband grabbed my arm. Then he pointed to the table. At the end of where Kenny was pointing, 4 quarters were left lying carelessly. And it was on the seat that was assigned to us.
Why are there quarters here?
When I asked, Marissa shot me a nasty smile.
If you want to eat so badly together, just use them to buy whatever you like.
The moment we saw her expression, we understood everything. This had to be Marissa's way of messing with us. I couldn't help but glare at Marissa's smug face. So, does this mean we're not family?
Of course, you're just Tyler's parents, and to me, you're complete strangers with no blood connection.
Kenny and I listened in silence. I felt an anger and sadness I had never experienced before, but more than that, I felt an overwhelming sense of emptiness. Even though I hadn't seen Tyler and the grandson in a while, I had thought it was okay as long as the whole family was healthy. But after being treated like this by Marissa, I could no longer maintain such a calm mindset. Our hearts were not so big that we could just stay quiet. It's time to stop the financial support.
So, we can stop the financial support now, right?
When Kenny confirmed this, Marissa glared at us.
Stop the financial support? That goes against our agreement.
But if you're saying we're not family, I can't send money to a stranger. I think it's better if we just don't involve ourselves with each other. When I retorted, Marissa clicked her tongue in annoyance.
Kenny is one thing, but Linda, you're just a stay-at-home mom, right? How can you talk to someone like me, a lawyer's secretary, like that?
What? I couldn't believe what I was hearing from Marissa.
What are you talking about?
Isn't it true? Just doing housework at home is something anyone can do. I really don't want to hear opinions from someone like that.
With her casual insults, both Kenny and I were left speechless. The discomfort I felt during our first dinner together was because of this. She probably looks down on me quite a bit. Yet, despite looking down on me, the fact that she was still asking for money seemed contradictory.
I should mention, though, the help you guys provide isn't even a significant amount. You should be grateful I didn't complain.
Marissa unleashed her selfish claims as if a dam had burst. So it wasn't a significant amount, so you didn't let me see our grandson. I couldn't help but snap back, and Marissa's lips curled into a creepy smile.
Did you finally get it? Now get out of here already.
Marissa shouted this loudly. Then she leaned in closer to us.
I'll let them know you two had other plans and couldn't make it. So feel free to leave. I only want to celebrate with family.
Without hiding her ugly true nature, Marissa said this with a malicious grin. Kenny and I were left speechless by Marissa's outrageous words. We never expected her to be so twisted and so openly trying to exclude us. We didn't argue any further and left the scene, following Marissa's lead.
I can't hold back anymore. I need to tell Tyler the truth.
Yeah, and I feel sorry for the grandson, but let's take advantage of the timing when the other parents are coming. Until now, we had been sending money thinking it was for the best, but we had reached our limit. Since Marissa was the secretary to her own father, she likely felt superior and behaved arrogantly. But I wasn't the type to just stay quiet. I quickly took out my smartphone and called Tyler. At the same time, Kenny called someone else.
Hello, Mom, what's up?
Tyler, there's something I've been keeping quiet about. When I said that, Tyler seemed to sense something just from my voice, and asked,
Is something wrong?
I told him to bring Marissa over to our house. Then Tyler said he'd be right there. 20 minutes later, just as promised, Tyler showed up at our house with Marissa. Not just Marissa. It seemed her father had come along too.
I left our son with Marissa's mother. Don't worry, it was just before the birthday party was about to start.
Tyler whispered that to me. For now, we let everyone in. Marissa was clearly in a bad mood, but her father looked pale and was shaking. It was probably because Kenny had explained the situation to him earlier. I took a moment to recount all the financial support we had given to Marissa and all the mistreatment we had endured over the past 3 years. Marissa seemed desperate to keep it a secret, as she shouted to interrupt me every time I spoke.
She is lying. She's trying to make me look like the bad guy.
However, Tyler and Marissa's father managed to keep her in check.
I was told by Marissa that she'd send the pictures of the kid herself.
Tyler said, his face turning pale after hearing everything.
I've only received pictures of the grandson once a year, and whenever I ask Tyler, Marissa sends snarky comments to Linda.
What's that about?
Tyler was left speechless, which was understandable. He had probably been working hard, with hardly any time off. And if Marissa had offered to be our contact, Tyler wouldn't have tried to send anything. We were stunned by how cunning Marissa's schemes were.
I sincerely apologize for my daughter's behavior.
In the midst of all this, Marissa's father apologized deeply. And with a face that looked like he was about to cry, he said,
I'm so sorry for causing trouble for Kenny and Linda like this.
Marissa gasped when she heard that.
Dad, why are you sucking up to them so much?
These folks are my respected ones. You should apologize too.
Marissa's father said this while pushing down Marissa's head, urging her to apologize.
Why do I have to apologize? Linda is just a stay-at-home mom, and there's nothing respectable about that.
What are you talking about? Kenny was our ace when I was still working as a pilot, and Linda was an admirable flight attendant. They made way more money than you ever could.
Upon hearing the truth from her own father, Marissa's face turned pale.
Dad, were you a pilot?
But for certain reasons, I gave up being a pilot and aimed to become a lawyer. Kenny is still active, but I looked up to both him and Linda.
Marissa's father was a younger pilot to Kenny. I had flown with him a few times and, of course, had conversations with him. However, at the time of Tyler and Marissa's wedding, he asked us,
Please don't tell my daughter that I was a pilot.
The reason was probably related to why he had quit being a pilot. He had gotten sick just a year after becoming a pilot and ended up resigning. His health issues were symptoms of severe stress-induced stomach pain, and it was determined that continuing as a pilot would be difficult. However, he didn't give up and studied hard to become a lawyer, successfully achieving his dream. Kenny and I agreed to keep the understanding that we both knew each other's faces. I wondered if this would help Marissa understand a bit better. As I thought this and glanced at Marissa, she suddenly said,
But if she was an admirable flight attendant, shouldn't she have saved up a bit more? Yet she only gave me pocket change.
"Huh? Could she really be saying that?" I was taken aback by her words. After everything said around her, How could she still say something like that? She really seemed to only care about her own interests. As I hesitated on how to respond, Tyler spoke up.
Hey, what's this about getting financial support? This is the first I'm hearing that you're getting money from my parents.
When Tyler glared at Marissa, she looked down, drenched in sweat, as if realizing she had messed up. But his anger wasn't subsiding.
If you're just living normally, my salary alone should be more than enough to get by, right?
Tyler said with a puzzled expression.
I want to save for the future.
Marissa made the same excuse she had given us, but Tyler wasn't buying it.
Well then, show me the bank statement right now.
He reached out to Marissa, urging her to show him the bank statement.
It's at home.
If the savings are in a joint account, you can check the balance on your smartphone, right? How much do you have saved up now? Or do you have another account?
Tyler asked with a smile.
Exactly. It's in another account.
Marissa easily flashed a smile in response.
Well then, let's go get it together.
Tyler replied clearly, still maintaining his smile. At first, she tried to dodge the issue, but realizing it was futile, she handed her smartphone over to Tyler.
Where's your savings?
After checking the balance, Tyler showed me the screen with a look of disbelief. Upon closer inspection, the amount displayed on the smartphone was only about $10. It seemed Marissa hadn't saved anything at all. Though she was trying to wriggle out of the situation, it was too late for any excuses. I didn't want to hear her words anymore. Since we're not family, Marissa will have to repay the full amount as a stranger. I'll send you a proper bill, so please take care of it. With a sigh, I said this, and Marissa's eyes went wide.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'll make sure to treat you all as family from now on. I'll introduce you to the kid and even cook for you, so please don't say that.
Enough. After everything you've done, who would want to be family with you? My wife has been tolerating this just because you were chosen by Tyler.
Marissa was trying to curry favor with me and Kenny, but Kenny rejected her attempts. Promises to introduce the grandkids or provide meals held no value to me at this point. Watching the whole scene unfold, Marissa's father turned pale and apologized.
I'm truly sorry. I will definitely make my daughter repay the money given as support.
That's impossible. Don't make decisions on your own.
Marissa was still barking, but her father and Tyler managed to stop her.
No matter how impossible it seems, you have no right to refuse. We need to find out how the original savings were spent too. Depending on how they were used, you understand, right?
Tyler, with a look I had never seen before, said this menacingly. 2 weeks later, Tyler decided to divorce Marissa. It turned out she had been financially supporting a host, quickly using up both her own earnings and the allowance from Tyler. A host? So you've been giving money to him since we got married?
Seems like she had been going to him even before marriage. But the money from you was also spent on beauty treatments, designer bags, and clothes. Apparently, it was to get compliments from her main host.
I felt dizzy hearing Tyler's words. I couldn't believe she had used the support money for such vanity. I truly couldn't understand what she was thinking. I heard Marissa had been acting like a host's girlfriend and was quite well known at the club. That's how she had convinced us to seek financial help. Her title as her father's legal secretary seemed just for show, as she had been leaving the child with her own mother during her maternity leave and repeatedly visiting the host. Tyler had grown tired of Marissa and decided to divorce her.
I've decided to take custody. It seems Marissa had been completely relying on her mom and hadn't been parenting at all.
Tyler said this while holding his 3-year-old son. Seeing Tyler lovingly holding his child made me feel like I could cry. I might finally be seeing the scenery I had longed to see.
I was so busy with work that I didn't notice any changes in Marissa, though.
I'm sorry we stayed quiet too. We only wanted to help you, but it ended up ruining everything. When I replied like this, Tyler shook his head as if to deny it.
I liked Marissa, but I thought there was no way I could live with someone who looks down on family.
The moment I heard those words, I couldn't hold back my tears. I couldn't stop the tears mixed with anxiety and relief. Tyler and Marissa got divorced, but there were still things to take care of. My husband and I demanded repayment from Marissa for the money we had sent her over the years. Of course, this was not a legal process, but we approached Marissa's family instead. Marissa hesitated, but her father immediately agreed to the payment. Tyler also claimed compensation for Marissa's extravagant spending. Since her father quickly agreed to this as well, Marissa had no choice but to pay. It seems Marissa had accumulated quite a bit of debt, as she repaid Tyler and us the money she had squandered all at once. After that, she was promptly disowned by her parents. Desperate, she moved in with the host she had been supporting, but the host, who had only been kind as part of his business, certainly wouldn't deal with a broke Marissa. She was quickly discarded and ended up wandering without a place to stay. Now, she seems to be selling off all the designer items she bought in bulk and juggling several part-time jobs to make ends meet. I learned all this from the messages Marissa sent to Tyler. Marissa, broken by a life completely opposite to what she was used to, called Tyler, saying she didn't want the divorce after all. However, Tyler never answered, and eventually, he blocked her calls. It seems he also blocked her messages, so Marissa probably has no way to reach him anymore. To completely cut ties with Marissa, he decided not to ask for child support. It's clear that she can't live a normal life, likely to repay all the money she has squandered. But that's no longer our concern. Tyler started living with us. He moved into a spacious house to match our living arrangement. Since Marissa knew about the old house, Tyler suggested us to take the plunge and move. Thanks to that, we can now live without fear of Marissa. Our little grandson now goes to preschool and has made many friends. We are doing our best to help with raising our grandson. Tyler makes time to be with his son, but he sometimes has to work overtime or on weekends. So, I go to pick up our grandson from preschool.
I'm going to draw a picture with Grandpa and Grandma next time. Can't wait to show you.
Our grandson smiled and told me that Even now, Marissa's parents still see our grandson, and it seems the child understands both sets of grandparents well. We want to continue to warmly watch over our grandson's growth as both families. Tyler, having just divorced, often says he's done with marriage. For now, he continues to work as a lawyer while raising his child, and hopes to become independent one day. Improving his skills while raising a child might not be easy, but I have complete faith that with Tyler's abilities, he can achieve his dream. By the way, it seems Marissa's father is still working hard at the law firm to make sure Marissa doesn't attack Tyler. If she does show up, he's apparently there to act as a bodyguard to send her away. He has done nothing wrong, so I hope he continues his work as a lawyer. Though Tyler's marriage caused some painful experiences, we have now regained our peaceful days. Recently, I've been thinking about working to improve my own skills. I can't let the younger folks outshine me. Thinking this way, I keep moving forward and doing my best today.